Hello everyone, it's Noor and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be discussing simply how to stop being lazy. Now the first step, one of the most important things you have to do, program your mind and genuinely tell yourself, I don't want to be that person anymore. Flip the switch and say, I want to change. Because the first thing you have to do is to change your mentality, and you have to have that will to not want to be that person. So this is number one, because if you're simply just thinking that, it is a super simple thing where you just have to follow what somebody else tell you. No, nobody's gonna be there to tell you to stop being lazy but yourself. So that's why I'm telling you, you need the mentality. You need to tell yourself, I don't want to be lazy. I'm not that person. I am productive. I want to be active. I want to be energetic. I want to get things done. And this is how you start. Here. You start here and then everything else will follow. Now, the second thing you want to do is you have to set out goals and do them. Whatever that goal may be, start with small goals and then develop them into big goals. So start with easy tasks and then eventually get to the big tasks. So for example, you can start with simply waking up in the morning and doing your bed. This is the first thing you have to do, because when you do your bed, you're gonna feel a sense of accomplishment, like, okay, I've done something, I did my bed. So this is how you start. You put out a task and then you do it. And when I say you do it, you have to do what you say you're going to do. So if you tell yourself, I'm going to do my bed, and you don't do your bed, then you'll be stuck. You'll be stuck. There's no way out for you. There's no hope for you. But if you say, I am going to do my bed, you get up every single morning and you do your bed, what is actually happening unconsciously is that you are training your mind to follow the instructions you put out. So you are basically becoming a person of your word. And when you become a person of your word, it'll give you more confidence in yourself. And when you have more confidence in yourself, you will be able to accomplish everything you set your mind or you tell yourself you're going to do. And this is why I'm telling you, when you set out a goal and when you set out a task, you better do it. And make sure after you actually accomplish something to treat yourself, whatever it may be. Literally, I am being really serious. Treat yourself at first and never stop, whether that be if you say, I'm going to work out start with 2 times a week, and then you go 2 times a week. You know what you can do? You can have a cheat meal afterwards, but obviously not after every workout, but you can have a cheat meal, or you can treat yourself in a nice restaurant once a week. You know what I mean? So just kind of reward yourself and realize that, okay, I've done what I said I'm going to do, and that is why I deserve this reward. Now, the third thing you want to do is you shouldn't be depending on your motivation. When I say this, and it is pretty obvious, you've probably heard it everywhere, you have to be disciplined. Do whatever you have to do regardless of how you feel. Whether you feel like going to the gym, it doesn't matter. Go regardless. Develop that skill of doing what you have to do, of getting things done regardless of whether you're feeling sad, whether you're feeling angry, whether you're feeling hopeless, whatever it may be. Get things done. And this is what separates the top performers from the rest. They do what the 99% of people aren't doing, simply because they're not depending on their feelings. Because you may wake up today, feel like going to the gym, and then end up going, but then tomorrow you may not feel like going to the gym. You just want to stay in bed. And guess what? The average person actually does stay in bed, whereas the top performer goes regardless. If he genuinely wants to stay in bed, he goes and gets that workout done. And guess what? Look at the reward. Look at what he's getting out of it. Obviously, he's working on his physique, develop mental sharpness. It'll allow you to deal with real life situations in a much better way. Whatever comes your way, nothing is going to be able to stop you, because you're that person. You do it, you're on it. You are being it. You're not just talking about it. You are doing it. You are it. always remember, this is something that actually helps me. I'm not saying I'm perfect. Of course, I have my days where I don't feel like going, but I still go because I develop that mental sharpness. And the thing is though, when you do lack, this is the thing, when you genuinely don't feel like going, you know what you have to remind yourself? When you aren't doing what you're meant to do, there is somebody else out there that is working harder than you and that wants it more than you and will eventually get it, and not you, just because you're not doing what you're supposed to do. So always just realize that in order to stay on top of the game, you gotta be doing things that people don't do. Do it, just do it, you know? I'll tell you something, because the person that tells you, oh, I never actually missed a day, unless you're Cristiano Ronaldo, I will not believe you. But the thing is though, when you actually do miss a day, don't beat yourself up. I'm telling you this, don't beat yourself up. Be kind to yourself. Understand that it happened, but guess what? You gotta get up again and do it. Because if you're gonna beat yourself up and you're gonna be stressing yourself for no reason. So just understand that you messed up. You shouldn't have stopped. Whether that be staying consistent, doing what you're meant to do, whatever that may be. Don't beat yourself up. Get up. Realize that you've messed up. Take it from there. Learn from it. And actually reflect on what happened during that time where you actually didn't do what you're meant to do. Saw the consequences. And this is what's gonna push you next time to not fall into the same pit again, you know? So again, I'm talking to the people that lacked, or maybe you're not being as consistent as you are. It's fine. Take a look at it, understand it, accept it, move on, and pick up from there. Pick up again where you left off, but don't think that you're starting from zero, because there's no such thing as starting again from zero. At the end of the day, you're starting from experience, and you're starting from a place where you actually worked very hard to get to. So don't think that, oh, you're going back. No, you're not going back. Okay, I could actually give you an example about myself, and there was a point in my life, I'm still dealing with it right now, where I've injured my knees and I couldn't go to the gym, even though that was the biggest therapy. I'm really honest with you right now. That was my therapy. That was the place I would go to have fun. You know, some people go to the club to have fun. Me, it's the gym. This is my therapy. So imagine I'm trying my best. I have my goals. I have my routine. I want to go to the gym 5 times a week, and I would go. But then when I injured my knees, it's like my body's working against me, and it got to a point where the doctor told me, you can't go, you have to rest. And then what happened was, I was at that stage of like, okay, I have to rest because of my well-being, even though I want to go. Imagine, this is what I mean by when you develop that mental sharpness, it's like when something like this comes your way and you have no control over it, actually tortures you even more, because you have gotten used to staying consistent, being on track, seeing those results, and then when something happens like this, like something that I've had to deal with and something that I'm still dealing with, like right now I can't go to the gym because of my knees and because they hurt, and the doctor told me you have to rest them. So when something like this happens, it actually makes you look back and say, that was such a blessing to be able to do something I have to do and being in good health. Literally, I'm telling you from now, that experience made me grateful, because I know that when I actually do end up healing, I'm gonna do it regardless, because it doesn't matter, because it's actually a privilege to be able to have 2 legs that work, to be able to walk properly, to not have any pain while exercising, or to be able to do what you have to do with no complications. This is a blessing, and that's why I'm telling you, don't take what you have for granted. You have the opportunity to do something, because you never know what happens. I'm telling you this from experience. Thank God I never took going to the gym and being able to work out for granted, but this is a setback that I'm dealing with, and I'm learning to be kind to myself. This is where the 4th point comes in, where you have to reflect and you have to adjust where needed. So again, don't be too harsh on yourself. Be flexible where needed. Find what works best for you, especially if you've had a setback. You have to really reflect on it and say, what is gonna be the thing that's gonna work best for me? you know? And for me, for example, right now, I realize that resting my knees is a crucial part in order for me to get back on track, because if I don't rest them, then this pain is always going to keep nagging me, and it might actually end up being very bad for my own health, and it might affect me in a negative way. So it might actually get worse. So that's what I mean by being flexible. For example, you've got something you're working on, you've missed a day, it's fine. You know, and just be flexible. Don't be too harsh. It's not a homework. You're not in school. It's not something that you have to obsess over. Just stay calm and collected and move forward. And the final step is to be patient. When I say that, I genuinely mean be patient with yourself, because you also have to realize that yes, you're putting in the work, you're being consistent, and sometimes even though you're consistent and even though you're putting in the work, you may not see the results. And that's why you need to understand that it all is gonna happen in due time. It's gonna take time, and this is part of the journey, this is part of the process. You have to realize that you can't jump from point A to point Z. No, there's A, B, C, D, E. Like, there are steps. It's a journey. Don't obsess over the result. Just stay patient and trust that everything is gonna work out in your favor. And yeah, guys, that brings us to the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope that it helped you in any way, shape, or form. If you want to see more videos, make sure to subscribe, like, and comment down below what you want to see next. And of course, you can follow me on social media if you want to stay updated with me. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye bye!